In today's video, we will be adding to my neglected cheap and cheerful tool list, or playlist is probably the word that I'm looking for, and that would be this here TOOLEAGUE. It's either TOOLEAGUE or TOOLEAGUE. You be the judge. But yeah, it's just a fuel line pliers kit. This particular purchase of mine was inspired by, I was sitting there talking to a guy as he was working on an engine, and he was pulling off heater line hoses, and he had this little tool that I've never seen before, and I said, hey, where'd you get that from? He wasn't sure, but I had enough of a description to go on Amazon to look for it, and I just happened upon this here little kit, which pretty much, as far as I could tell, would cover just about every fuel line typey thing that I would need to do, diesel and gasoline and hoses and what have you. And yeah, for the pictures on the old website there, they seem good enough. Now, you guys know, as I always say, get the tool that works best for you. Now, I'm sure if you're dealing with those type of lines on a regular basis, buy the best ones you can get. But for me, I'm doing mostly electrics nowadays, so I still do diesels and LPs and gasoline forklifts now and then, but majority of stuff I do is electric. So this tool right here, the tools inside this pouch right here, probably get used a few times a year. So I don't need the best one. So I'm going to save a couple of bucks and buy this one. And yeah, so I mean, that's about it as far as what led me to make this purchase. So let's swing the camera down, take a look at this stuff, and yeah, see what's in the pouch. Well, all right, this is the package that it comes in. Hopefully the white balance doesn't get too screwed. Anytime I do something black, it always screws up the white balance on my camera. If I was any good at recording myself, I would know how to fix that, or not be so lazy and figure out how to fix it. But yeah, I mean, it comes in this little pouch right here, very Holy Bible sized, if I might say so myself. Little loop on here, not too bad. It seems good enough for what it is. A little bit of a hard case on it. Cheapo generic zipper, but yeah, I mean, made to a price, and that price is cheap. And yeah, that's them all spread out there. All right, so what do you say we start from the left and we move our way over? You know, I'm dyslexic, so I always got to double check my left and rights. But yeah, so we got this guy right here. Take that out. It's in a plastic bag, which we do not need anymore. This is basically just your basic button popper, body panels, things like that. I'm not sure why they needed to put this in a fuel kit, but I mean, yeah, it's an extra tool. Why not? Seems to be made of decent enough metal. How far does this steel go back into the handle? We're talking yay, right about there. So I mean, I wouldn't be, it's for plastic buttons, so I mean, how tough does it need to be? Kind of a glossy type finish there. Not bad. I mean, like I said, cheap, but functional. All right, now let's move on to the tool that actually inspired this purchase here. This is the same one that I saw, but it's the same concept, so that's kind of why I bought it there. But I'm just going to drop in pictures from their little advertisement there, just to save me the time of having to find the stuff that this stuff goes for, and you know what I'm saying. But I mean, this is basically what it is right here. It's just a little hose puller. You kind of just stick the mamba jamba onto the hose. You got what the hose connected to, and you got the hose down here, and you squeeze it. And I'm sure you give yourself a little bit of a wiggle on this, a little bit of a wiggle on that end as you're squeezing it, and it kind of pulls it off, which is nice, especially if you're dealing with say like vacuum lines and stuff like that. You don't want to break that stem off, so this kind of gives you a little bit of more of a pulling force. Whereas to, man, this this video's going off the rails, but you know, more of a pulling force instead of kind of yanking it and side loading that thing and snapping it off. But yeah, I mean, decent enough. Again, it's for plastic and rubber, so it doesn't need to be sturdy. It's got a nice skookum little spring down inside the handle there, and it's kind of encased in the overmold for the handle. So yeah, I mean, good enough. Now this next example right here, which is kind of what made me think this is a pretty decent kit, because they're actually forged and not just stamped out of sheet metal like I've seen other cheap ones, like in the back in the day there. But yeah, not bad at all. These particular ones are for, and like I said, I'll drop a picture of them in. I'll drop a picture of what the description, from the description in there. And these are basically for those god-awful plastic clip-on style fuel lines that, I don't know, I should have gotten something like this a long time ago, because if you break those, it's just such a pain in the butt, because you gotta pinch them from either end and pull them all at the same time, which is hard to do, and then you kind of find something that sort of works and hope you don't break it, because then you got to go back the next day and replace that stupid thing. But yeah, that's basically what these things are for. Got, again, with the magnet, handle goes fully through it. It is forged on there. Camera, you gonna help me out here a little bit? There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see that. You see the forge marks on there. The alignment of the jaws, one would argue, could be a little bit better, but good enough. It's just a plastic connector. I do notice we got a bit of slow boat from China oxidation going on in the hinges. Doesn't really seem to hamper them at all, but not bad. Let me get something to squeeze on these things, kind of get a feel for the grip. There you go. Just a cheapo staple puller that I have in the box nearby me, but yeah, not much flex in them. They definitely got a good squeeze to them, and like I said, again, if you're squeezing it that hard, you're going to end up breaking that connector. So yeah. Now these down here are basic run-of-the-mill hose clamp pliers. Me personally, I've never used these before. I guess we could say I've gotten away with not having to use them. Just always use regular old pliers. Always seem to work for me. These particular ones are very generic Chinesium. Not great. Not horrible. You got the tooth action in the hole. I actually have one of these hose clamps nearby. All right, there you go. This is as a small example of what you would be using this for, but yeah, you kind of put that inside the hole, and this end down here with the groove, you stick that on the flat end, kind of like so. And yeah, I actually locked into place. I kind of thought that lock was kind of chintzy, but yeah. I mean, it's enough to do what you got to do, right? Not too bad at all. And that releases it. As far as how far you can go open with them, I mean, that's about it right there. That'll do your standard, 1.5-inch, 2-inch radiator hose style clamp. Yeah, for sure that'll do that at least. We're talking smaller engines, but not bad. This lock I am not 100% in love with. It kind of feels a little bit mushy. Might be able to, I was going to say hit it with a file, but there's really not any place to file it without taking it apart. Jaw alignment, not horrible. Not great, but not too bad. These guys spin. They're held on with little E-clips or circ clips, or every time you say what those things are, you got 7 people telling you that you're wrong. And yeah, just stamped sheet metal. It's kind of wrapped around to hold the little guys in place. Not bad. Let's try this again. Yeah, I don't mind them. I mean, they're functional. I'll probably still grab pliers before I grab these, but good enough. Now, moving on. I'm pretty sure these are just the body clip removers. Yes, they are. We've all seen these before. They're really nothing too fancy about them. These are the right angle flavor of them. They have the straight ones. I was doing that video on the handheld ones from Vim not too long ago. Springy hinge, not bad. Kind of sticks on the way in. I'm not sure where they put they put plastic on the stuff that's treated so it doesn't rust, and they don't put plastic on the stuff. I don't know. What are you gonna do? But yeah, and I mean, like I said, these are I'll be honest with you, these are what I was using in the past for those quick disconnect fuel lines, and always you know, for the most part, kind of worked. I mean, sometimes little clearance issues with these, which would cause me to have to get a little creative. But yeah, I mean, not much going on with these things. They are what they are. And last but not least, we got another set of quick disconnect fuel lines, pliers. These particular ones actually feel like they're a bit nicer than these guys. A little bit more machining work going on here to make that round figure. And these are just for smaller style quick disconnect fuel lines. TOOLEAGUE. Yeah, not bad. I mean, they feel pretty good in the hand. Jaw alignments considerably better than the other ones. I would venture to say that if you are going to be needing these, you could probably get away with using these. Again, because it's just plastic, so I mean, it's just a matter of getting those kind of in there and pulling them off without breaking them. And if you could accomplish that, I mean, you're having a pretty good day. Dipped rubberized grips on the thing. I'm almost kind of thinking, looking at all these are kind of a mishmash of different tool designs as far as the handles go. Like this style down here has the flares on them, like you would see on almost like a set of lineman pliers, and the dipped ones with these guys with the pressed sheet metal, and then this. Yeah, it almost seems like they kind of mishmashed a bunch of these tools together and put them in a pouch and just called them their own, which I mean is fine. A little bit less corrosion on the hinge as far as that goes. A little bit of laser etching with their tool brand on them, but again, functional, decent enough. So there we go. That is the TOOLEAGUE. I thought I dropped something. The TOOLEAGUE fuel line plier kit. Again, cheap and cheerful. Something I'm going to use very infrequently. Good enough for what I need to get done. If I were to categorize these on tool brands, as far as all of us know, definitely below your Craftsman and your Icon, Grade, Milwaukee, those kind of upper mid-tier type things. I mean, definitely not Snap-on quality. I would say that, to say the least. Kind of more like your Quinn style tools, or your Dole, I think is what that other Harbor Freight is, kind of that one step below the, at least their store's premium tool brands. So yeah, and like I said, I'm not going to be using this every day. I probably won't. Maybe 2, 3, 4 times a year I'm going to whip this thing out and use them. And yeah, for $30 to have the right tool, I think it's worth it for me. If it's worth it for you, I don't know. But you guys who use this type of stuff a little more often than me, I mean, aside from the popular tool brands, if you got a decent one, drop down in the comments. Maybe some guys that are actually looking for this type of stuff might give them a different option to buy. This particular one, I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to buy them. As of the time I'm recording this video, this whole kit's like $30. So I mean, spend that for lunch if I'm drinking. Mostly drinking, but yeah. So yeah, I'll leave a link down there if you're interested in it. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the old comment section down there. I'll do my best to get back to you. I'd like to thank you for watching. There you go.